こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we're studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to stop and ask me at any time. I'm going to continue with immersion with Card Captor Sakura.
なんやカードキャプターがこんなもんでビビってどないするんや。だって大丈夫ですの？大丈夫じゃないけど怪我した子もいたんでしょ？ええ、千春ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど。
Yes, Chihara-chan. Let's see, Chihara-chan. Let's see, Dachi, Gonin, Kurai. I think this is the approximate Kurai, I guess. Kurai de itaso nan desu kedo. Oh, Tachi, yeah. Chihara-chan Tachi, or in other words, Chihara-chan's group. Because Tachi tends to make nouns plural in Japanese, a lot of them at least. So, Gonin kurai de. Yeah, I'm guessing about 5 people. Then itaso nan desu kedo. I think this is more likely appears so. So in other words, yes, it appears that Chihara-chan's group went with about 5 people. But I think this is basically saying. I don't think it's that good. I think this one approximately, yeah. Now the question is, I do not believe how much this dictionary is mistranslating this word right here. It does it all the time. This is from a different word that uses the same kanji. Let's see. Okonau. It's from this word, okonau. To perform, to do, to conduct, transitive. Explain the grammar of. Let's try to figure out why it's used in de.
だって大丈夫ですの？大丈夫じゃないけど怪我した子もいたんでしょ？ええ、千春ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど。ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど。
No, she is saying ite. Why is de being used after kurai? If dead particle indicating means, method, or accompaniment or agent in action. Okay. The particle de here does not attach directly to kurai as a grammatical suffix. Instead, it applies to the entire noun phrase gonin kurai, which functions as a unit, meaning about 5 people. In Japanese, de can indicate the number of people involved in an action, especially in group activities. Oh, that's right. The method that de can tell is, in other words, the method of is it being carried out by not only how it's being carried out, but the quantity of people it's being carried out with. How is so used at the end of a sentence? Hearsay, or I heard that. I think this is like the so is in this that way, basically. So, Chihara-chan tachi, yeah, this, if you don't drop the particles, it probably would say something like, okay, yeah, Chihara-chan tachi wa, 5人くらいでいたそうなんですけど, as you know, wa and ga get dropped all the time in casual. And this says, let's see, 千春ちゃんたち5人くらいでいたそうなんですけど,
もういたんでしょ？千春ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど、現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど、
arawareru, to appear, to come in sight, to become visible. Intransitive, arawareru. So, araware, eru. Oh, this is Ichidan, okay, yeah. Arawareru, so arawareta. Yurei, ghost spectre, okay. Arawareta Yurei. So the appeared ghost, and what about the appeared ghost? Panikuni. Alright, this is the reasoning or the source of the need. So the appeared ghost was the source of the situation turning into panic. So 現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて。So パニックになった、and I believe this is rashi, and it's connected from rashkute as seeming or appearing. What was the difference between rashi and so? What is the difference between rashi and so? So in other words, the appeared ghost caused a panic. And this is going to continue to something else. Primary difference between Rashi and So lies in the source of information. So, specifying the appearance, such hearsay form is based on direct observational sensory input. You can use it when you see something or make a guess based on what you see. Rashi is based on secondhand information, hearsay, or logical inference from indirect evidence. You use it when you have heard something from someone else or making an adjustment based on general knowledge or rumors rather than seeing it with your own eyes. Before she said, Chihara-chan tachi 5人くらいで行ったそう。そうなん。I don't. That description's wrong because I don't think so has to be observed. What if so is being used for things you heard as well? So can indeed be used for things you heard, but it is crucial to distinguish between the two different grammatical forms of so as to convey different sources of information, appearing or seeming. So, okay, this form is based on direct observation. You form it by attaching so to the stem of a I adjective. Okay, so this has to be attached to something, an I adjective, okay, or attached to something. And the hearsay so, this form is based on secondhand information. You form it by attaching so to the plain dictionary form of a verb. In other words, it's not so much being attached to the word itself, it's just being put on the end of the sentence. Okay, so the hearsay so is attached to the end of a sentence, and the so from what things appear like is a modifier on the word itself. Like oishi so would be a modifier on the word itself. So let's see. Arawareta. Awarareta from awarareru. So 現れた幽霊にパニックになってらしくて。
はるちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど、現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。ですけど、現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり
転んだり大変だったらとか。Now, it ended with te forms, which means this is meant to be part of the same sentence. So, Goran from... Oh, Gorandari. Okay, to fall down, to fall over. This is that listing something form, as if you're listing like people are falling down, but you're not necessarily listing everything. So other things besides people falling down also probably occurred. So people were doing things like falling down. Uh, uh, it was a problem, as well as other things, because total cost for a non-exclusive listing, as if there was it was more than just a problem. Gorandari from Gorobu, to fall down, intransitive. Explain in detail the grammar of Gorodari. No, Korongari from Korobu. In this phrase. This form is used to list actions or states when, okay. The form, the tari form. Yeah. The full explicit structure will be korandari taihen dattara to. Okay. Where does the tari where's the dotty? Oh, that's interesting. I just noticed it is dotty instead of tari. I guess because it's a nubumu verb, so it has a Daku 10 past tense conjugation, since I know that form is based off of the past tense conjugation. Where does the yadi come from? Tari in, okay, doing such things as particle. Tidy or daddy and a suffix added to verbs to turn them into a list of actions. Okay. 私たちは坂を行ったり来たりし続けた. We had to go up and down the slopes. Okay. When adding the particle to the verbs ended in da, the da remains, creating a dotty. This tidy dotty structure is used to list actions or states. Okay, so it's basically a particle. Okay, interesting. So 転んだり大変だったとか. So people were falling. It was a mess, as well as other things. That's what the tokas implies. Serious, grave, dreadful, terrible. Okay.
ちゃんたち5人くらいで行ったそうなんですけど、現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。
クラーカードなら集まえなきゃ. So cloud card, nada used for particle used for if. So if it's a cloud card, atsumae na kya. I did hear that correct, right?
にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。
Yes. So atsumae na kya. So this comes from, this is the negative from well, this is basically a let's see. Yeah, this is a shortening of atsumae na kereba, and atsumae na kereba is a shortening of atsumae na kereba ikemasen, or in other words, the phrase of you have to, in this case it's gather it. Let's see, it's to gather, right? No, it's to catch. Okay, it's not gather, it's catch. Wait, so this is sumaeru.
現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃってらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。
Hatsu. My. Eru. Hmm.
転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。それでこそ転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえ
Cloud nara.
転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。ってらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。
Atsukim. Atsukim. My nakya is what it sounds like she's saying. Atsuki. My nakya.
ってらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。そう
I'm probably just. It's probably just hearing the A sound from the previous
だとか。
word.
クローカードなら
So, sumae nakya, which comes from sumae nakereba, which is a shortening of sumae nakereba ikimasen. In other words, I have to capture. So, cloud card nara, sumae nakya. If it's a cloud card, I have to capture it. Okay.
現れた幽霊にパニックになったらしくて、転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。それでこそご近所の平和を守るカードキャプターや。
それで、それでこそ、の、ご近の、something no.
ご近所の平和を守るだったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。それでこそご近所の平和を守るカードキャプターや。
それで therefore, in other words, from that, koso, it is that precisely. Although, let's see, it's precisely because koso then go kinjo, neighborhood, from near in place, aka neighborhood. And this is the politer way of saying it, go kinjo. Heinwa, peace, harmony. Mamoru, to protect, okay. Card Captor, yeah. Yeah, okay. So koso is a particle that basically is how you referencing used with referencing something that was just said. Like one example of using it would be something like someone says thank you for something, and then the other person's also feeling thankful for something else as well in regards to the conversation, so they might say kochira koso. So in other words, in this direction, what was just said again. So in this direction, also thank you. So sorede. So from that, for, so yeah, sorted, sorted. So sorted from that, it's is the reason or the koso. Let's see, other Gokinjo neighborhood peace. Gokinjo no heiwa, so neighborhood peace. Mamoru protected. So that's the reason the card captor is protect. Okay, the card captor is a neighborhood peace protector. And this is the ya, which is da in Kansai bin. Okay. So soride koso. Yeah, soride koso gokinjo no heiwa o mamoru card captor ya. Let's see if I got a good translation on that. That's exactly what makes them card captors, protecting the peace of the neighborhood. That's a slightly different meaning. Let's see. Explain the grammar of that. Why would that mean that? Sorede closo is a fixed expression meaning that is the quintessential X, just like what you'd expect from X. That's exactly why X is X. It affirms that a specific action or trait is precisely what defines the person or thing being described. Sorede koso.
カードなら捕まえなきゃってらしくて転んだり大変だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。それでこそご近所。
So in reference to Sakura's determination that if it's a card, then I have to capture it. So sorede koso. Where does koso come from? Oh, here we go. Koso. Koso is an adverbial particle in Japanese that primarily replaces either wo or ga. Its main role is to highlight the preceding noun or noun phrase as being the most important piece of information and related to the rest of the sentence. In English, this is an effect that is primarily achieved through things like bold text or underline or emphasize a particular word in a speech. If we were to make a direct comparison to an English statement, then things like precisely, because it's a, or rather it is due to a, well, quite similar to Koso's function. Koso can be used directly after any noun that would normally take wo and da particles, so long as that particle piece of information needs to be emphasized. Kono kyoku koso, ore ga okay, ore ga zutto shite ita kyoku da. Yatto kyokume ga wakatta. The song is exactly like the song I've been searching for. I finally figured out the title. Oh, let's see. Kondo koso katsuzo. I will win for sure next time. Although koso is able to replace ga or wa, the nuance will usually come across as more similar to ga due to the fact that ga puts emphasis on a specific point, while wa nominates general topics. To make things easier, the three particles can be thought in the following way. Let's see. Wa weakly highlights specific information. Ga strongly highlights specific information. Koso very strongly highlights specific information. Let's see. Fun fact. Okay, koso is often used after names or pronouns as a way to reply to thanks / apologies. In these situations, it expresses that the speaker feels equally or more obliged to say what was just said than to them by someone else. So, watashi koso arigatou gozaimasu. No, I'm the one that should be thankful. Oh, それでこそ、それで、okay, 近所 and then 平和 even flat piece, harmony, Japanese style piece, soften, okay. Okay, so essentially, それで so it's sort of like saying, as for that, as in you want to emphasize that because you're using koso instead of wa. So let's see. Gokinjo no heiwa. So neighborhood peace. Okay. Will mamaru. Oh yeah, protect the neighborhood peace. And then all that is a descriptor for the card captor. So, and then yeah, it's to be, so to be a neighborhood peace protector card captor. So therefore, basically, that's what makes you a neighborhood peace protector card captor. And this thing translated it as, that's exactly what makes them card captors, protecting the peace of the neighborhood. Find the grammar of gokinjo no heiwa wo mamoru, protecting the peace of the neighborhood. Okay. This now has been affirmed by Sore Koso. The speaker is saying that protecting the neighborhood's peace is what truly makes someone a card captor. So does that mean is that part of another clause? Here's the final noun of the sentence, with ya being the sentence ending particle. Okay. Let's see, how does this mean, or how does this affirm what? Affirm it, okay. The phrase "sore de koso" affirms that the following statement by establishing the causal and essential links. Sore de, because of that, and then koso, a strong particle of strong emphasis meaning precisely, or exactly. Combined with, okay, sore de koso, the structure means is precisely by doing that. So it's precisely by doing being a neighborhood protector card captor. Anyway, let's continue this. So, それでこそ、ご近所の平和を守るカードキャプターや、
だったとか。クローカードなら捕まえなきゃ。それでこそご近所の平和を守るカードキャプターや。
でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。But if it's a ghost, what should I do? でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。
守るカードキャプターや。でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。とにかく確かめてみんと話にな。それでは参りましょうか。あれは守るカードキャプターや。でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。とにかく
確かめてみ。確か 確かめてみんと. So とにかく, so basically ignore everything else and then do 確かめてみんと. Let's see. 確かめる to make sure, to check, to ascertain, to confirm. 確かめる so 確かめて and then explain the grammar of this. Which means to check, to pay. Okay. Minto. This is a colloquial contraction of miyo. Is it? Miru. In this context, when attached to the tab form, means to try. Yo. Okay. The evolutional ending meaning let's. Okay. A contraction of no. A contraction of no, used here for emphasis or casual tone. To, a casual dialect, often Kansai region, or youthful contraction of go, or simply part of evolutional flow. Miyo becomes mean, and mean becomes mean to. In many casual dialects, yo becomes yowa, or nto, and miyo often shortens to mean or meanto in rapid speech. This is Kansai bin. So, which is it? The phrase minto in tonikaku tasuka ya. Tonikaku tasuka mete minto is a okay. Standard form miru plus yo is miyo. Kansai, okay, the evolutional form yo becomes yo in Kansai bin, so shio becomes sho, okay. But miyo is then contracted to mean. This is a very common casual sound to change dialect. The final particle to, okay. The to at the end is not a particle meaning and or with, but rather a sentence-ending particle common in Kansai speech. It adds soft, emphatic, or conclusive tones similar to saying okay or you know. In English, it is often used for mutual agreement. So minto is just minyo plus the Kansai particle to. So let's make it sound more conclusive. Okay. Tonikaku, tasaka mete minto. So that was check. So let's try checking, essentially. Tonikaku, tasaka mete minto. So, and this is from Mio. Okay.
とにかく確かめてみんと話にならんで。
Hanashi narande. Okay, this is probably naranai. So Oh, naranai de is basically saying don't. In other words, and this is just a contraction of that, so to narande. So I'm guessing he's trying to say basically, don't speak, or let's stop talking, essentially. Wait, that's ridiculous? How does that mean that's ridiculous?
とにかく
それでこそ。
でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。とにかく確か それでは参りましょうか。でも幽霊だったらどうしよう。とにかく確かめてみんと話にならんで。
Oh, that was all one phrase, okay. So anyway, we can't really talk about it until we check. Tonikaku, taskamete mean. Mean to hanashi narande. Explain the grammar of that. Let's see. It doesn't become conversation, meaning it's no use, it's pointless. We can't proceed. Rande, a dialect of often consonant negative ending of nai. Taskamete minaito, a conditional form meaning if you don't try to check or verify. Okay, I see. So this is the toe. This is the toe used as a conditional. So this is the with toe, since that's what's used in conditional. So if we don't try checking, it does not become conversation. In other words, there's no point in talking about it until we've checked. Tonikaku, taskamete min to hanashi ni narande. Hanashi ni narande. And then, yes.
とにかく確かめてみんと話にならんで。それでは参りましょうか。
それでは参り mashoka. Mairi would be from mairu. To go, to call, to be, to collapse, to die, to come, to be in. Okay, so this has a general go or come meaning. So, mairu, to go. In other words, let's. So, mairimashou, or shall we go, essentially. So, from that, shall we go? So, それで. Well, right. Okay, so then. それでは参りましょうか? Well, should we go?
とにかく確かめてみんと話にならんで。それでは参りましょうか。あれはさくら、フライならんで。さくら、フライ。
Furai. And that's the kanji used for flying. Yeah, it's used in the words like kakeru, to soar, to fly. Hontoni, Okasan, are you really mother? Or are you truly mother? Honto, that's short for honto, which is truly true. So, and then ni makes it like truly. Nanya are, so what is it that Naya are? Donai Shitan Ya Sakura. So this is basically in standard Japanese would be Do Shitan. So in other words, not so much what are you doing, but sort of like usually it's used for like what happened or what have you done, or it's kind of strange he's using past tense here. Explain the grammar of why is it past tense. Donai Shitanya, okay, is the Kansai dialect variant of Nani o shitan desu ka? Or do shitan ya da, okay, meaning what happened or what's wrong. Oh, that's why he's saying it. He's basically saying it more in the sense of what's wrong, as in like, why is she just standing there? What's wrong? So in other words, what happened? Like something's happened, and therefore, for you to be having that sort of reaction. So in other words, what's wrong? So donai shitanya. Okay. Donai shitanya Sakura. So what's wrong, Sakura?
なんやあれ。どないしたんや、さくら。ケロちゃん。
Goo. What does that expression mean? I guess it's something about being out of it. What does the expression "goo" mean? Mimetic word of a groan that primarily expresses anger, irritation, or being troubled. It represents low, guttural sound often associated with frustration or suppressed emotions. In some contexts, it can also indicate the speaker is speechless or at a loss of words. I think it's sort of like that here because he's just been like knocked out from the barrier. Goo goo. So anger, irritation, or just being at a speechless, whether from being knocked out or something else. Sakura-chan, Sochi wa Gake, cliff, precipice. So Sakura-chan, that way is a cliff. In other words, that way is a cliff. There's a cliff over there. Sakura-chan, Sochi wa Gake. Yukito or Snow Rabbit.
Sakura-chan! さくらちゃんなら大丈夫だよ。さくらちゃん。さくらちゃんなら大丈夫だよ。さくらちゃん。
Sakura-chan nara daijoubu dayo. So if it's Sakura-chan, alright. To be alright. So Sakura-chan's alright, essentially. I wonder why he said it that way. Sakura-chan will be fine. Okay, I guess that's a way of saying if it's Sakura-chan, they'll be fine. They're fine. In other words, they will be fine. This conditional particle, a colloquial form of ba or naraba, meaning if or in the case of. Oh, nara comes from naraba? I don't know. Let's see. Translates to if it's okay if it's Sakura-chan, or Sakura-chan will be fine. The nuance suggests that while someone else might not be okay, in a certain situation, Sakura-chan is an exception who can handle it or is safe.
Sakura-chan なら大丈夫だよ。目覚めた？目覚めた？
目覚めた? Let's see, eyeballs, and then to wake up, to wear off, to come to one's senses. So I guess it means something like, are you awake? Sameru, yeah, sameta. Intransitive. Why is me used in in the phrase mega sameta, the kanji me is used literally to mean eyes. The expression is an intransitive verb phrase meaning to wake up, to come to one's senses. The logic behind this usage is a metaphorical. Waking up is conceptualized as opening one's eyes or snapping out of a daydream. Literally the eyes awakening. While me has other abstract meanings such as ordinal suffixes in ninbanme or sections of mokuji, and this specific verb construction retains the primary physical meaning of eye to describe the act of becoming awake. So have your eyes awakened, or essentially? Okay. Sameru sameta. Me sameta.
目覚めた？
ゆきとさん、ここはゆきとさんのあれ
目覚めた？
ゆきとさん、ここは
僕の
Okay. Yukito-san, basically, koko wa, where am I? Basically asking as for here question.
目覚めた？
ゆきとさん、ここは。
僕の家だよ。目覚めた？
ゆきとさん、ここは。
僕の家だ。
Boku no uchi dayo. In other words, my house. Boku no uchi dayo. Yeah, uchi is one of the ways to refer to your house in particular, not just any random person's house.
ここは。
僕の家だよ。
ゆきとさんの。
Yukito-san knows. In other words, Yukito-san's house, as what was just talked about. So this was the possessive no. So this is Yukito-san's house.
目覚めた？
ゆきとさん、ここは。
僕の家だよ。
ゆきとさんの。あれ、この服。
Are or that or
僕の家
Konofuku, these clothes.
だよ。
ゆきとさんの。あれ、この服。
さくらちゃんの着てたのはお洗濯中。ああ、僕の家だよ。
ゆきとさんの。あれ、この服。
さくらちゃん
Sakura-chan no kiteta no. So in other words, kite from kudu. This is the kudu to wear kudu, and then kite-ita, one of the words, was wearing. The more active sounding past tense, kiteta. So the clothes Sakura-chan was wearing. Then
の着てたのは
洗濯中. Oh, sentaku is washing laundry, that's right. So sentaku-chu is in the middle of washing. In other words, they're being washed right now. Because that chu or naku comes from inside of, so in other words, they're inside the period of washing. Sentaku-chu. And sentaku comes from wash and then laundry, okay. So Sakura-chan no kiteta no wa o sentaku-chu.
僕の家だよ。
ゆきとさんの。あれ、この服。
さくらちゃんの着てたのはお洗濯中。ああ、着替えさせたのはおばあちゃんだよ。
Kiesate no wa oba-chan da yo. Kigae, changing clothes. So this is pseudo verb intransitive. Okay, it's made from arrive, wear, counter for suits. Okay, then exchange, substitute. So wearing the spare or exchange is changing clothes. Okay. And then kigai, then saseta. So this is from pseudo. This is causative. So saseru would be to cause. So in other words, to cause to change. but this is past tense, so it's saseta. So did cause to change. So kigae saseta, so caused to change. No wa obachan da. So his grandmother caused to change. In other words, his grandmother changed her clothes. See, kigae saseta no wa obachan dayo kigae. Okay.
この服
さくらちゃんの着てたのはお洗濯中。ああ、着替えさせたのはおばあちゃんだよ。
そっか、ゆきとさん
おばあちゃんだよ。
そっか。
Sokta, that's right, Yukito-san.
ゆきとさんおじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるって。
おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるって。So, grandfather and grandmother, and then 3 persons. Kurasu, to live, to lead a life. Okay. Let's see. So you live with your grandparents. The Oji-chan to Oba-chan no 3人で Find the grammar of this. Signing the counter for people. Okay. Let's see. De, a particle indicating means, method, or group composition. Here it signifies that the action is being performed by a group of 3 people. Let's see. No possessive particle tsute, okay, casual colloquial quotation mark, or it is shortened form of toiyu or toita. It is used to quote what someone else said, or to repeat or confirm a statement in conversation. It essentially means you said that. This is translates to, okay, Yukito-san said that he lives with his grandfather and grandmothers. The three of you, or more naturally, you mentioned you live with your grandparents. Why is the possessive no before the sunning? The particle no is used to indicate that the group of three people consists of those two specific individuals. That's a possessive description. Possessive description function. While no often translate to %s or someone's blah or of, it also serves to define composition of a noun. It links the components grandpa and grandma to the collective noun three people. Oh, okay, interesting. So A to B no futari. The two people consisting of A and B. Why not just Oji-chan to Oba-chan? In Japanese, simply placing a number after a noun phrase without a particle is grammatically incorrect or ambiguous. The no X, okay. So I guess it's sort of like his grandma's group of three, grandfather's group of three. In other words, they're components of that group of three people. So, Oji-chan to Oba-chan no sannin de kurashite teru te. Or, he said that he lived with his grandfather and grandmother as a group of three, essentially.
たのはおばあちゃんだよ。
そっか、ゆきとさん、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ。ちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃん。
お兄ちゃんがいてたっけ。So, oh, here we're actually seeing who actually said that. So it wasn't Yukito-san that actually said that, it was her brother. We were just assuming it until this point. So this sute is sort of like Toyu. I'm not sure if you have another to in that or not. So Oni-chan ga iteta. I think my older brother mentioned that the three of them, grandpa, grandma, and him, lived together. Sign and indication trace. Let's see, particle. Remind me, I forgot. Was that what happened? So is this like saying I think when you end with like I think my brother said that? Oh. Yeah, that's what's using in the translation. It's saying I think. Casual colloquial equivalent of particle to. Okay. Iteta, contraction of ita, okay. What would this sentence be without contractions? Let's see. Full form toite or to. Okay. Sute to or to contraction. The sute is a casual contraction of the quotation particle to. In this context, it introduces the content of what the brother said, meaning said that uncontracted form would be to or towa for emphasis. So iteta, okay. Ita, okay. Tsuke from deshtake or kena or kana. This sentence uses kek, which is a casual particle used to recall something or seek confirmation. It is often shortened from deshtake. Where does the K come from? So there's normally a dash in this sentence. Right, K is a sentence ending particle in Japanese. Oh, it's a sentence ending particle. In Japanese, that is used to convey when the speaker is trying to remember something or confirm information they have forgotten. In this way, it is very similar to again or what is a again. Can may only be used after a past form of the auxiliary verb da. Or, let's see, da or ta. This means that ke should only be seen as dake or take. Okay. Kyo no asa wa. Kyo no asa wa. Yeah, kyo no asa wa. Asa gohan wo tabetake. Did I eat breakfast this morning? あれ、テイラの車、あれ、テイルの車って、青、青かったっけかったっけ Okay. Taylor, was your car blue again? し土曜、土曜日、土曜日って暇だっけ Was I free on Saturday again? Okay. Despite the grammatical rules related to suke, the younger generation quite often uses it without the addition of nda, especially with verbs. So, トムって日本語話せるけ Tom, were you able to speak Japanese again? or この道って、問えるけ Were we able to take this road again? While it is important to understand that this is still the suke, it is not grammatically correct form that may be used in writing or formal speaking. Fun fact, ke will sound equally natural when asking a rhetorical question to yourself or when asking another person about something that you have forgotten. Are kagi kaketa kaketake. Did I lock the door? Asking oneself. あそこのレストランで犬を連れて行けるけ Do you remember if we can take our dogs to the restaurant over there? So, suke is a shortening of ke added to a dropped word. This is partially correct but nuanced. Historical suke is widely believed to evolve from classical Japanese ending particle keri, which indicates past tense or retrospection. Over time, keri shortened to ke, and the small su was added for emphasis or phonetic flow, becoming a suke. Okay, grammatical rule: suke is not just ke added to a dropped word. It is a fixed particle and must follow the past tense form. Dake, da, datake. So, ita, itake. So, oni-chan ga ite dake. So that full phrase was, Oji-chan to Oba-chan no 3人で暮らしてるって、お兄ちゃんが言ってたっけOkay, that's yeah. I think this suitcase is supposed to be like a toa or something like that. For like as for the three of them living together, and then my older brothers said, I think my older brother said the three of them live together. Oji, let's listen to that now.
そっか、ゆきとさん、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ。暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ。ありがとうございます。
あ、着替えさせたのはおばあちゃんだよ。
そっか、ゆきとさん、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ。
言ってたっけ
だよ。
そっか、ゆきとさん、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言って。
いや、お兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ or the full phrase おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ So I think my older brother said his grandmother, grandfather, and him live together.
着替えさせたのはおばあちゃんだよ。
そっか、ゆきとさん、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんの3人で暮らしてるってお兄ちゃんが言ってたっけ。ありがとうございました。
Anna or well or So arigato gozaimashita. Thank you for helping me.
さくらちゃん、かけが
Well, it's makes more literally just thank you, but it's implying thank you for helping me.
ありがとうございました。
さくらちゃん、崖から落ちたんだよ。
言ってたっけ。ありがとうございました。
さくらちゃん、崖から
Sakura-chan. Kake ga kara ochitanda. So from cliff, had fallen from cliff, or or as for Sakura-chan, why did you fall from the cliff or ledge? Gake, cliff, precipice. I'm guessing ledge. Could it also mean ledge? Can Kage. Oh, Gake can. Gake also mean ledge. It can mean ledge, so it primarily means cliff. Okay. Oh. So, Sakura-chan, Gake kara ochitan da yo. So, in other words, you fell from a cliff, Sakura.
言ってたっけ？ありがとうございました。
さくらちゃん、崖から落ちたんだよ。覚えてる？
See, oboeteru. So you fell from a cliff and then oboeteru to memorize or to remember. So this is in the continuous form since it's from oboeteiru. So oboeteru and then in a question tone, in other words, do you remember falling from the cliff? That's what he's asking. Did you memorize it or do you remember falling from the cliff? Do you remember it? Oboeteru. And she says un or no.
でも驚いたな。道を歩いてたら空からさくらちゃんが降って。
ありがとうございました。
さくらちゃん、崖から落ちたんだよ。覚えてる？そっか。でも驚いたな。
Soka. Oh, I see. I said demo. Odoroita na. So shocking, surprising, but past tense. So that's surprising. Or that was a shock. So so I see, but that was a shock. Odoroita from odoroku, to be surprised, to be taken aback. Soka, demo odoroita na.
から落ちたんだよ。覚えてる？そっか。でも驚いたな。道を歩いてたら空からさくらちゃんが降ってくるんだもん。でも驚いたな。道を
歩いてたら so path and then was walking. Why is it in Tara form? Oh, when I was walking, that's right, conditional Tara. So, Michio aruite tara. Sora kara Sakura-chan ga I think this is from Furu, so Fute, yeah. Fute kurundamon. So from the sky, Sakura-chan was falling, and then at Fute Kuru, in other words, was falling towards him because she was coming to him as she was falling, so she was falling towards him. Fute Kurun Damon, and that was a thing, basically a way to emphasize the statement by saying mono at the end. So Michio aruite tara sora kara Sakura-chan ga fute kurundamon. So when I was walking, Sakura-chan came falling from the sky. See, I was walking down the street when Sakura-chan just fell out of the sky.
から落ちたんだよ。覚えてる？そっか。でも驚いたな。道を歩いてたら空からさくらちゃんが降ってくるんだもん。
じゃあユキトさんが？
じゃあ、Yukito-sanが let's see, I believe that's like well, so well Yukito-san. Let's see, and the question tone was for... So... Okay, well then, so, okay, so it was... Oh, it was Yukito-san? In other words, it was Yukito-san that, found me, essentially? That was the whole question. She's basically asking, it was Yukito-san who found me? It was sort of like a statement question kind of thing. Ja, Yukito-san ga?
驚いたな。道を歩いてたら空からさくらちゃんが降ってくるんだもん。
じゃあユキトさんがともよちゃんは
Tomoyo-chan wa? I was like, what about Tomoyo-chan? Or where's Tomoyo-chan?
ちゃんが降ってくるんだもん。
じゃあユキトさんがともよちゃんは
サングラスしたお姉さんたちが迎えに来たよ。
ともよちゃんは
サングラス
Sunglass Shita. I think this is referring to her bodyguard since they all wear sunglasses. So sunglasses shita. Oh, sunglasses. So doing. Oh, that's right. In Japanese, for the accessories like glasses, you say someone's wearing them by using suru. So sunglasses shita would be past tense. So sunglass wearing one-sans. And then it's tachis making it plural. One-san tachi. So sunglass wearing you could take it as like sisters or sunglass wearing girls, since one-san generally refers to older sisters. But it could just refer to like how you do it in English, where you select the boys or the sisters to refer to like a group of people that aren't actually relatives. So sunglasses shita one-san, so sunglass wearing girls, and then something ni kita came. Mukae, meeting, greetings, welcome. Noun. Came to meet. So mukae ni. So this is the purpose ni. So mukae ni kita. So came to meet. So he met sunglass wearing women. Some ladies wearing sunglasses came to pick me up. No, I don't. Oh, is mukai that word means meeting, like with the purpose of picking up? So it's not pick me up, and in this case, it's pick Tomoyo-chan up. Explain the grammar of this. Mukaeru. To go out to meet, to receive, to welcome, to greet. Yeah, it has that, that's right, this is that verb, mukaeru, that has that meeting and picking up person kind of meaning to it. Another great example of how English and Japanese words do not translate one-to-one. Do you say you're wearing sunglasses with Suru. Okay, while Suru is technically used for sunglasses in casual conversations, the more specific verb is kakeru. Okay, I thought something seemed wrong. Yeah, so kakeru is how you normally say wearing glasses, but Suru is used in more casual conversation. Suru is the generic verb often used for accessories like watches, ties with jewelries. It is acceptable for sunglasses and informal speech, but kakeru is preferred for accuracy. So, サングラスしたお姉さんたちが迎えに来たよ。So, sunglass wearing ladies came with the purpose to pick her up.
じゃあユキトさんがともよちゃんは
サングラスしたお姉さんたちが迎えに来たよ。すごく心配してたけど、僕がに来たよ。すごく
すごい心配して、すごく心配してたけど, so in other words, sugoku, which is from sugoi, extremely, so shinpai is worried, so extremely worried, so shite is the active form of to do, so she was extremely worried. Okay, yeah, shinte ita or shiteta is saying something past tense in an active way. So she was extremely worried. So, kedo, but, so, sugoku shinpai shite, okay, sugoku shinpai shiteta, kedo.
じゃあユキトさんがともよちゃんは
サングラスしたお姉さんたちが迎えに来たよ。すごく心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったら、
僕が東野 okay, に something するって言ったら、Renraku suru, contacting, making contact. Okay, so Renraku suru te, let's see, itara. So ita, and why it's raw on the end of the sentence. So I know it's basically trying to say, I said I would contact Toya, or which is her older brother, but why is Tada? Oh, that's right. Wait, no, Tada's the conditional Tada. Why are you using the conditional here? Oh, oh, that's right, he's saying, okay, it's an incomplete statement. He says, when I said I was going to contact Toya, that's why he's using the conditional Tada. So, 僕がトヤに連絡するって言ったら
に来たよ。すごく心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしく。
こんにちは、元気ですかIf you have any questions about Japanese, then feel free to ask. Okay, so continuing this.
心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしくお願いしますって。心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしく。に来たよ。すごく心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしくお願いしますって。すごく心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしく。
Let's see. よろしくお願いします。しまして. Okay, so thank you, or and then the sute meaning to say thank you. So when I said I would contact Toya, she said thank you. So よろしくお願いしまして.
すごく心配してたけど、僕が東野に連絡するって言ったらよろしくお願いしますって。
お兄ちゃん、
僕から言っとくから大丈夫、叱られたりしないよ。
僕から言っとく。僕から言っとくから大丈夫。something られたりしないよ。Okay, Itoku. Is this supposed to be from... Let's see, Itoku. Let's see. Daijobu and then shikarare tari. Shikaru is to scold, to chide, to rebuke, to reprimand. Shikara. So okay, so this is first put in, so shikaru is put into receptive tense, which is shikarareru, and then it's put into, and we know this is receptive since this is a go-down verb, and then it's put into past tense, shikarare ta, and then go into that little listing tense, so it's listing as scolding, and then shikaretari, and then shinai, so not scolding. So for me, he took. Let's see. Explain the grammar of. I'm guessing so far from what I've seen is gonna say something to the effect of, I told Toyu to not scold you or something like that. Let's see. Itoku. This is a contraction of iteoku. Oh, that's right. Oku, to put in place. This is, oku is sort of used like other things, like in English you have stand up or sit down, where you have a directionality to it. This is further extended a lot further in Japanese, to where you have shimau, or like to end up, as another type of meaning, or oku, to put in place with a purpose. So iteoku is itoku. So to said, and I said it with a purpose. Okay, boku kara itoku kara. So from me, okay, from said with a purpose. All right. Do not scold, I guess. But what shouldn't there be a particle between the all right though, or daijobu? I let him know myself, so don't worry, he won't get scolded. He won't get scolded, or you won't get scolded.
たらよろしくお願いしますって。
お兄ちゃん？
僕から言っとくから。
See, I'll take the blame, so don't worry, you won't get in trouble. So boku kara itoku. So from I, okay. From I said with a purpose. What is the full sentence of this with particles? Boku kara itoku kara. Since I'm telling you from my side, or because I've given you a heads up. So I'm telling you with a purpose from my point of view, okay? Daijibu, it's okay, or don't worry, okay? And then shikaretari shinai yo, you won't get scolded, okay? Scolded. Tari, okay. It's part of the taranai pattern, which indicates that an action being scolded will not happen, or not expected. You'll sentence any particle that adds emphasis and informs the listener of something they may not know or need reassurance about. Natural punctuation. To make the sentence easier to read, you would typically add a comma or break into the two clauses. Boku kara Boku kara itoku kara daijobu. Okay. Shikarare tari shinai yo. Let's see. I've given you a heads up, so it's okay. You won't get scolded. So it literally means I'm telling you from me with a purpose. And then from all that, don't worry, okay? Boku kara itoku kara daijobu. Okay. Shikarare tari, which, okay, shikaru, to scold. There's actually an expression that uses shikaru in it. Nada nada, shika shika shikara nai. In other words, if it's nada, which is a place in Japan, everyone except the deer gets scolded. Because there's a shika deer, then shika as in everyone except what we're talking about. In this case, shika the deer. And then shikaru gets conjugated to shikara nai. So it's basically a repetitive sound phrase that takes advantage of similar sounds meaning different things. So that is, again, that's nada nada shika shika shikara nai. But anyway, in this phrase, boku kara itoku kara daijobu shikarare tari shinai yo. Or, I'm saying from my point of view, don't worry, you will not get scolded. And it has a hint of among other things because tari is when you're listing things, you're not necessarily listing everything. Does tari? Let me double check that. Tari imply among other things in addition to not being scolded. Yes, the use of tari in the sentence, okay, implies the speaker would not just avoid being scolded, but would also avoid other related negative actions or outcomes. Yeah, because you don't have to list everything when you're using tari. So, boku kara itoku kara daijobu shikarare tari shinai yo.
しますって。
お兄ちゃん、
僕から言っとくから大丈夫、叱られたりしないよ。
ロちゃん。
ああ、オレンジ色のぬいぐるみ？ともよちゃんが今日はお預かり。僕から言っとくから大丈夫、叱られたりしないよ。
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? And if there's no questions, we're going to raid, so please stick around for that. Okay, so the first person we're going to raid is, let's see, Joni Mindo. Or Johnny Mind, okay, yes. I'm not sure if that raid's gonna work, but we'll see. Another person we're gonna raid is... Okay, we're gonna raid... We're gonna raid Dr. Disrespect. He's currently playing Apex Legends. And... let's see... We're also gonna raid Genra83. His native language is Japanese, and he's learning English. 皆さん、お気をつけて。また明日。Goodbye everyone. See you tomorrow.